Hey guys, it's Devin and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a video about potty training, specifically potty training a toddler with speech delay. Now a lot of these tips will be able to apply to any toddler even if they don't have a speech delay, but there are some specifically that will help you if you have a speech delay toddler. So let's get into the tips. Again, I am not a professional, I am not a doctor, I am just a mom with a son that has a speech delay. So these are things that I learned along the way. So tip one is to start potty training when they are ready to start potty training and when we are ready to start potty training. There's so much pressure out there from friends and moms and mother-in-laws and aunts and uncles and everyone else that why aren't you starting to potty train? And usually it starts around 2.5 when everyone's asking, are you potty training? Are you starting to potty train? And you kind of feel a little bit of pressure, especially when it's your first child. Cullen was my first child and he has a speech delay. And I remember feeling pressure to start potty training. So I did. I started potty training around 2.5 with Cullen and it didn't work. He was frustrated, I was frustrated, he wasn't getting it, and we ended up giving up because of frustration. So if I could do it all over again, I would not let other people pressure me and to wait until my child is ready to potty train. What I learned later after learning that Cullen had a speech delay is that usually speech delay toddlers do potty train a little bit older because that communication isn't there and it's not as easy to communicate back and forth of when you're wet, if you're uncomfortable, that kind of thing. So usually they do potty train a little bit older. So don't feel pressure. Potty train when you are ready to potty train. So along with this tip, we want to kind of start looking for signs from our toddler, whether it's verbal or nonverbal cues, of whether they're ready or not. Are they telling you that they're wet? Are they showing you that they're uncomfortable? Are they wanting to take off their diaper? Are they hiding when they're going number 2? Are they showing interest in the potty? Things like that to show you that this is something that they're interested in, they might be ready. Cullen did start, he would start taking his diaper off by himself. He didn't like that it was wet. He would hide behind our curtain when he was going number 2. He started showing interest in the potty, wanting to sit on the potty. So I definitely knew that he was ready and that's when we started. And that was around a little bit over 3.5. So I could tell that he was ready. We started potty training Cullen around 3.5. He probably would have been ready a little bit before that, but I was pregnant with Isla and I was sick as a dog, so I was not gonna take on that undertaking. So I waited a little bit longer, but 3.5 is when we really focused on potty training. So tip number 2 is to get prepared. Now this is a little bit different when you have a toddler with a speech delay because it involves a little bit more preparation. So first is the normal stuff that you want to get prepared with. Now that's the potty seats. So what I got is this Fisher-Price potty seat that goes right on top of your potty. And then I got this one, that's the freestanding one, and it's the Baby Bjorn brand. And I liked having both because it was nice as an option if we were moving all around the house to have one that was more portable. And then to have the one that actually goes on the potty and that I could bring with me. Actually, either of them I could bring with me if we go to like the in-laws house or a friend's house. So it's a potty that he's familiar with. So I liked using both. And now another thing that I got is this stool, and it was a collapsible stool so that I could easily put it and store it away because I have a small bathroom. And I liked that because when he was sitting on the big potty, he can have somewhere to rest his feet and he can also have it to wash his hands later. Now some other things that I got to prepare were, we went and we picked out some underwear. So he came with me and we picked out Ninja Turtle underwear and Star Wars underwear, whatever he liked. That way it was something special to him and it was something cool that he looked forward to wearing. The next thing is I brought him to a craft supply store and we picked out some stickers. So he picked out like dinosaur stickers, jungle stickers, dog stickers. So then we had a chart in the bathroom that at first I did stickers every single time he sat on the potty, and then we started doing stickers once he got better at that of every single time he went to the bathroom on the potty. So he looked forward to picking out a sticker and putting it on the chart, so that was a visual way of him learning. Another thing that I got was from his teacher actually. I expressed to her that we were starting to potty train and she said for speech delay kids it was really good to have a chart, and I threw it out because he's fully potty trained now, but because kids with speech delays it's really good for them to have visual aids. So it was very simple. It was just 3 pictures. It was a picture of sitting on the potty, it was a picture of flushing the toilet, and then there's a picture of washing his hands, so that when he was going to the potty, I can point to the picture of what we were doing next. And that actually really helped him at first. I only used that for a little while till he got the hang of it, and then I didn't need it anymore, but it really was a good aid for him at first. So if you guys have a kids with speech delay, remember that visual aids are really awesome. And the last thing I got to get prepared was I got him treats. He loves Swedish fish and gummy bears, so I used that as his treat and his reward when he went potty. So the last thing actually you should do when preparing your kids to potty train if they have a speech delay is work on their vocabulary when it comes to the bathroom. Now this is something you could kind of be doing all along with their speech, but you know, when they go poopy, say pee-pee. Tell them where the potty is, that it's called a potty. Just use those words in your everyday vocabulary so they become more familiar with it, so that conversing with them back and forth becomes a little bit easier when you're in the potty training mode. The next tip is to stick to a schedule. Now you don't have to be perfect about this, but I picked a week where Cullen was not at school every day, where it was like a holiday week, and I stayed home with him I think 5 days straight. We didn't really run a lot of errands. We kind of stayed home and chilled. A lot of the times he was either naked or just in his underwear, and I was putting him on the potty like every 45 minutes or so. I was paying attention to how much he was drinking and how often after he drank he had to go potty, and I just put him on the potty. Sometimes he went, sometimes he didn't, but it kind of gave him that chance to go, and we weren't kind of disturbing his routine by being out and about, because I really wanted to give him this week to kind of focus and kind of understand what we were doing and what the feeling was before he had to go potty. So just give him that time to kind of get the hang of it before you go out of the house. Tip 4 was praise. Make a really big deal about it. For speech delay kids, this is like super important as well, because they want to understand that this is something good, this is something that they're doing right. When he would go on the potty, even if it was a little bit, I would make a big deal about it, and that's how he was making the connection. Oh, this is what she wants me to do. She wants me to go pee-pee on the potty. So make a big deal about it. Give them those stickers, give them those treats, just so they know this is what I gotta do, and if I do it, I'm gonna get this treat. That praise is really important because it builds up their self-esteem. It helps them realize this is what they want from me, gives them more confidence, and it helped Cullen especially to understand that this is what he has to do. He's going pee-pee on the potty, he's going poopy on the potty, and he's doing something right. Tip number 6 was huge for me, and I realized it after doing it wrong a few times, is all or nothing. So at first, actually before he was 3.5, we tried to potty train a few months before that when I was kind of sick and stuff, and I was putting him in his underwear at home, and then when we'd go out I put him in his diaper, and then he was in his diaper at school, and then we'd come back home and he'd be back in his underwear. And it was confusing for him because I wasn't being totally consistent. He was not consistently in his underwear. Sometimes he was going to the bathroom in his diaper, and sometimes I was making him go in the potty, so he really wasn't getting it. And for speech delay kids, that routine and that schedule makes a big difference. So if you're gonna do it, really stick to your guns. I'm not buying diapers anymore. We're just underwear. For the first week, I really gave him that time at home, and when we did go out, he was still in underwear, and I had to make sure that I could find a potty and keep putting him on that potty so that he needed to know to hold it until we got to a bathroom. Like, consistency is huge for them, so all or nothing. If you're not gonna put everything into it, don't do it, because it does confuse them. Tip number 6 is immediate treats. So with kids that don't have a speech delay, sometimes you can talk to them and converse with them and say, if you go on the potty all day today and don't have any accidents, then tomorrow we're gonna go to the store and get this big toy. But kids with a speech delay don't necessarily understand that kind of concept, at least my son didn't, so immediate gratification was what he needed. So right after he went to the potty, I would get him a Swedish fish or a treat. It wasn't the, if you do this, this, and that, then eventually you'll get this. He needed those immediate treats and that immediate gratification instead of the waiting until this, this, and that. So that made a big difference for him. Now the last tip is tip number 7, and that is to be patient, you guys. It's not gonna be perfect. They're gonna have accidents. With or without a speech delay, your kids are gonna have accidents. So continue to praise them and make a big deal when they do something good, and don't get angry if they do have an accident. What I would do when Cullen had an accident, and I would take off the wet clothes, I'd bring him to the potty and say, no, we don't go pee-pee in our pants, we go pee-pee on the potty. I'd put him on the potty, even if he didn't go, just so that he could understand that this is where we're supposed to go pee-pee, and then I put his clean clothes on, and that was that. I didn't make a big deal about it, but you do want to be patient with them. Those are my speech delay potty training tips. If you guys have any tips for yourself that worked for you, please leave it in the comments below. If any of you guys watching are speech therapists and work with kids with potty training, please leave some comments below on things that you did. It would be awesome for myself as well as others to read that, and they can have some tips and tricks that they can use for themselves. And thanks for watching, you guys. If you're not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe for future updates. We'd love to have you guys. And if you're already subscribed, welcome back and stay tuned for my next video. Bye guys.